The call that changed everything sometimes. The scariest words are the ones you never wanted to hear. Sarah clutched the phone. Her voice shook. I'm so sorry. I'm in the hospital. I can't. The reply was cold, unbending. If you are not present at the designated time, your application will be disqualified. Click. The line went dead. Silence. The kind that presses down like a weight. Sarah's arm dropped to her side, her strength gone. The hospital ceiling blurred above her, not from fever, from heartbreak. She reached for her worn leather bag, the one holding everything, her resume, a neat folder, and a small note she had written to herself. This is the start of something better. Tears spilled silently. Please, she whispered. My daughter needs this. She deserves more. In the corner, a little girl sat quietly on a plastic chair, 4 years old, honey-colored hair, eyes bright as the morning sky. Her name was Lily. She had seen it all. Her mother skipping dinner so she could eat. Her mother fixing broken things with duct tape and hope. Her mother coming home late, exhausted, still singing lullabies. And now she saw her mother cry. Lily didn't speak, didn't move, just clenched her little hands in her lap, her face far too serious for her age. And in that silence, something inside her decided asterisk sometimes. Bravery doesn't look like a soldier. Sometimes it looks like a child with a plan. Sarah's fever finally pulled her under. Her breathing slowed. Her hand loosened on the edge of the bed. Fast asleep, defeated, Lily climbed down from the chair. Her tiny feet touched the cold hospital floor. She looked at her mother, so fragile, so tired. Then her gaze shifted to the leather bag. The bag that held hope. Slowly, she unzipped it. Her little fingers pulled out the folder, the one her mother had studied every night. Inside was the resume, the chance, the future. Lily hugged it against her chest, as if it was magic, as if it could change everything. She turned toward the coat rack. There hung her favorite dress, pink, with white bows on the sleeves. She slipped into it without a sound, her decision made, her heart steady. Then, without looking back, she padded out of the hospital room, down the long corridor, past nurses who didn't notice, past patients who didn't care, past the humming coffee machine. No one stopped her. No one saw the mission. She carried Dot outside. The city morning wind bit at her face, cold, unforgiving, but she did not flinch. She knew where she had to go. The brochure on the fridge had shown her the way. She remembered the bus number. She remembered the name of the building. And so, step by step, the little girl marched into a world that was not built for her, yet somehow was waiting for her arrival. Asterisk sometimes. The smallest footsteps echo the loudest in a room full of giants. 40 minutes later, Lily stood before the towering glass building. Braden & Co. Global Solutions. The letters gleamed in silver. The building stretched so high, it seemed to touch the clouds. She took a deep breath. The folder still clutched tight against her chest. It was almost bigger than she was. And then she walked in. The lobby buzzed with the rhythm of power. Footsteps clicking against marble floors. Elevator doors opening and closing. Suits and ties moving fast, too fast to notice a child, behind the desk. Charlotte, the receptionist, flipped through the schedule. Her eyes caught a small shadow across the marble. She looked up and froze. A little girl, no taller than the counter, wearing a pink dress with white bows, blue eyes, wide and serious. A red clip holding back her hair. Sweetheart, Charlotte said gently, leaning forward. Are you looking for someone? Lily nodded. Her tiny arms lifted the folder higher. I'm here for the job interview. The words hit the air like a shockwave. Charlotte blinked. Interview, she echoed. Yes. My mum's sick. So I came instead. Around them, people slowed their steps. Heads turned. Conversations stopped. The marble lobby now quiet. All eyes on the little girl with the oversized folder. Charlotte hesitated. What's your name? Lily. And your mum's? Sarah Parker. Charlotte glanced at her list. There. It was Sarah Parker. 9 a.m. The last candidate. Her fingers trembled slightly as she pressed her earpiece. Lena, tell Mr. Braden he needs to come down right now. It's important. Upstairs, the CEO's world was about to change. Asterisk sometimes. The story you never expect walks right into your life. High above the city, inside a sleek glass office, Albert Braden sat alone at his desk. 30-2. Impeccably dressed, brilliant, ruthless. He had built his empire from nothing. But somewhere along the way, he had lost interest in people. In family, in small talk, in hope. Interviews bored him. Resumes blurred together. Faces faded quickly, until his assistant appeared at the door. Albert, you may want to take this one in person. He raised an eyebrow. The Harvard grad, the ex-Google manager. She shook her head. No, something different, very different. Albert sighed, adjusted his watch, and stepped into the elevator. The doors slid open into the marble lobby, and then he stopped. There she was, a little girl, pink dress, white bows, folder clutched against her chest, so small, yet standing like she owned the place. Albert blinked, caught off guard. Lily, he asked softly. Her face lit up. You're the boss. She, CHIRPED. The lobby held its breath. Dozens of eyes fixed on the scene. Albert Braden, the untouchable CEO, and a little girl half his height. She stepped forward, held out the folder with both hands. My mom is sick, but she really wants this job, so I came instead. Albert looked at her, at the folder, at the determination in her eyes, and for the first time in years, his lips tugged upward. A smile, small but real. Clear my schedule, he told Charlotte. I'm conducting this interview. The crowd stared in disbelief. But Albert didn't care, because in that moment, he already knew. Nothing about his life would ever be the same again. Asterisk sometimes. The bravest voices come from the smallest mouths. Albert guided her into the conference room. The chair was too big, but Lily climbed up anyway. Feet dangling, folder pressed. Against the table, Albert sat across from her. The resume opened before him, but his eyes fixed on her. So, Lily, he began, his tone softer than usual. Tell me why your mother wants to work here. Lily leaned forward, her hands flat against the wood, her voice steady. Mama works really hard. She never buys anything for herself. She saves everything for me. She wants a job that uses her brain again. Albert's jaw tightened. He glanced. At the resume saw the unfinished college line. The sudden stop. Why did she stop school? He asked carefully. Lily's blue eyes didn't waver. Because she had me. Silence filled the room. Heavy, unspoken. Albert swallowed. And you think she would do well here? Lily nodded eagerly. She's really smart and kind. She always helps people. Albert stared at her. This wasn't a child reciting lines. This was truth, pure, unrehearsed. "And why did you come today?" he asked quietly. Lily smiled, small and proud. "Because Mama was really sad on the phone. She wants to give me a better life, so I came to help." Albert leaned back. For a man known for walls of steel, something cracked. Not pity, not charity, but respect. He closed the folder, looked at her again. "Then let's begin the interview," he said gently, and for the first time in years, Albert Braden meant every single word. Sometimes, the simplest wishes reveal the deepest truths. The room was quiet. City noise muted behind thick glass. Only Albert and Lily. He leaned forward. "Tell me, Lily, what is your mum like?" She thought for a moment, then answered softly. "Mama works all day. She cleans houses. She brings food to people's doors. She never sits down." Albert nodded slowly. His eyes searched hers. "She never buys things for herself," Lily added, "even when her shoes have holes. She says, 'No, these are still good.' Then she buys me new ones instead." Albert glanced at her sneakers, white, shiny, little. Stars on the sides. New, clean. It all made sense now. Lily's voice dropped, tender. "She always puts me first, every time." Silence, the kind that presses on your chest. Something stirred inside Albert, something he hadn't felt in years. "Did your mum go to college?" he asked carefully. Lily nodded. "She loved it, but she didn't finish. She had me." Albert's breath caught. "She didn't regret it," Lily added. "She says I'm her favorite reason to stop anything." The words landed like thunder, simple, unshakable. True. Albert shut the folder, because no piece of paper could hold the weight of that kind of love. "And what do you want for your mum?" he asked, his voice low. Lily tilted her head. "I want her to be happy. She's always tired. But she smiles when I draw pictures, or when we watch cartoons. I think she just needs a break." Her eyes lifted, blue as the ocean. Bright, honest. "Mama doesn't need a lot of money. She just wants a job that lets her buy ice cream every weekend." Albert froze. The innocence cut through him. "Clean, sharp," she whispered. "She told me she would be the happiest woman in the world if she could give me ice cream every Saturday." Albert swallowed hard, forgot to breathe, and in that moment, the fortress around his heart cracked wide open. Asterisk sometimes. Strength isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet, hidden in sacrifice. Albert sat still. The folder closed before him, but in his mind he saw her, Sarah Parker. Not just a name on paper, not just another resume. A young woman, bright, ambitious, a scholarship student, top grades, leading clubs, and then gone. Dreams cut short, not because she failed, but because she chose. She chose her daughter, chose love, chose sacrifice. Albert pressed the intercom, his voice calm, measured. "Charlotte, find out which hospital Sarah Parker was admitted to yesterday. Send flowers, something simple, something kind, and something for a little girl." The lobby had already returned to its rhythm, but Albert Braden's world had shifted. Later that morning, in a quiet hospital room, Sarah awoke to a strange sight. Beside her bed sat a bouquet of wildflowers, soft pastels, a small box wrapped neatly in cream paper, a ribbon tied with care. Her trembling hand reached for the note. "To the strongest woman I have yet to meet." Sarah froze. Her heart stuttered. Tears pricked her eyes. She opened the box. Inside a pack of chocolate milk and a handwritten card. Her lips parted in disbelief. This wasn't charity. It wasn't pity. It was respect. She looked around the room, whispering Lily. What did you do? Sometimes. Life doesn't open doors. Sometimes a little hand pushes them open for you. Sarah's hands shook as she dialed the number on the company brochure. Her voice cracked. Hello, this is Sarah Parker. I think there's been a mistake. My daughter, she's only 4. I'm so sorry if she caused any trouble. On the other end, a soft chuckle. Miss Parker, no need to apologize. Your daughter may be the bravest person to ever walk into our lobby. Our CEO was very impressed. Sarah's heart skipped. The CEO, yes, he would like to meet you, formally this time. If you're feeling well enough, he's cleared his schedule this afternoon. The phone slipped slightly in Sarah's hand. Her breath caught. Was this real? Hours later, a cab stopped in front of the towering glass building. Sarah stepped out, her legs weak, her fever not fully gone, but her spirit trembling with hope. She wore her cleanest blouse, her neatest skirt, her hair tied back with care. Inside, Charlotte greeted her warmly. Welcome back, Miss Parker. He's expecting you. Sarah's pulse pounded. The elevator climbed, every second heavy with fear and possibility. The doors opened. A vast office bathed in sunlight. And there he was, Albert Braden, the man everyone called untouchable. But now he smiled. A real smile. Miss Parker, he said, stepping forward. I'm glad you're feeling better. Sarah's voice shook. I'm so sorry about my daughter. She didn't mean. Albert lifted a hand. No apologies. She gave one of the most compelling presentations I've ever seen. Sarah blinked, her lips parted. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Albert gestured to the chair across from him. Please, have a seat. And in that moment, Sarah Parker realized this wasn't just an interview. This was the second chance she had prayed for. Sometimes. 2 broken pasts fit together to build something whole. Sarah sat nervously, hands folded in her lap. Her resume rested on Albert's desk, but his words echoed louder than the paper. I've read thousands of resumes, but yours came with the most remarkable letter of recommendation I've ever seen. Sarah's cheeks warmed. She lowered her gaze. She's my whole world. Albert's eyes softened. I can tell. He leaned forward. And that's why I'd very much like to see what you can do here. For the first time in years, hope flickered bright inside Sarah's chest. Days turned into weeks. Sarah began her job at Braden & Co., not as charity, not as pity, but as proof. She arrived early, stayed late, took notes, owned her mistakes, fixed them, learned faster than anyone expected. Some whispered she was hired out of sympathy, but Sarah never flinched. Her work answered louder than gossip ever could. And Albert, he noticed everything. The way she organized projects with quiet precision, the way her ideas shifted meetings, the way she kept showing up, no matter how heavy the world had been on her shoulders. He never hovered, never micromanaged, but his eyes always found her. Like the day she called in late because Lily had a fever. Albert's message was simple. Family comes first. Take the time you need, or the time she skipped lunch. And his assistant just happened to bring an extra sandwich to the break room. No big speeches, no grand gestures, just small, steady signs that told Sarah, for the first time in years, she wasn't alone, and slowly, the walls around her heart began to fall, as did his. Asterisk sometimes. Family isn't the one we're born into. Sometimes it's the one we dare to build. Months passed. Sarah's confidence bloomed. She was no longer the girl with the sick mum, no longer the single mother hired out of pity. She was Sarah Parker, respected, trusted, valued, and always Lily by her side. The little girl who colored in Albert's office, who saved him the last cookie in the lunchroom, who called him boss man when she wanted his attention. Albert's heart softened in ways he never thought possible. The ruthless CEO, now cancelling meetings just to take a child out for milkshakes. Then, one evening, in his office after hours, Lily looked up from her coloring book. "Mummy," she asked softly, "can I call Uncle Albert Daddy?" The room froze. Sarah's breath caught. Tears pricked her eyes. Albert slowly walked toward them, kneeling beside Lily, his voice low, gentle. "I would be honored." Sarah broke. Her tears spilled freely, not from fear, but from something deeper. Belonging. 1 year later, at the company's Christmas gala, the ballroom sparkled with gold lights. Music swirled. Laughter filled the air. Albert stood before his team. But this time, his speech wasn't about profits or growth. He looked at Sarah, at Lily, at the family he never expected. A year ago, he began, "I received the most unusual job application of my life." It was delivered by someone 3 feet tall, in a pink dress, holding a resume twice her size. The crowd laughed softly. Sarah covered her face, tears shining in her eyes. Albert's voice grew tender. "That day, I didn't just hire an employee. I found hope. I found courage. I found my family." He raised his glass. "To Sarah, to Lily, to the day they walked into my life." Applause erupted. Glasses clinked. And beneath the golden lights, they stood together, not as CEO, employee, and child, but as something greater, a family born from bravery, from sacrifice, from love. Because sometimes the most powerful resumes aren't written on paper, they're written on the heart. Asterisk.